Hi Stampers! Welcome to another week of Watch It Weekly Wednesday. I'm Aubrey and I'm excited to share with you today a background stamp in the annual catalog. The one I chose to share with you is the Burlap stamp. This is so fun. Background stamps are awesome to give any project just a little bit more dimension and texture, and they are really easy to use. So I just wanted to kind of show you what they are and what it's like, and to show you a few projects using this cute burlap background stamp. First, I'm going to show you some cards. Normally, when I think of burlap, I think kind of like that brown, crafty kind of color. So I made up this card using some fall leaves and using the burlap in that typical way, with the typical color that I would use for burlap. So I wanted to show you that. And then I thought, well, it doesn't have to only be that brown crafty color. So this is when I took this inspiration from a card that's actually in the annual catalog. I changed it up a little bit, but the colors are about the same. And I just stamped on the Sweet Sugar Plum, I stamped with the Berry Burst pad, and it gives it a really cool texture, but it doesn't necessarily look like burlap anymore because of the color. But it's a really fun texture and it just adds so much dimension and texture to the card. So that's really a fun way to use it. The last card I wanted to show you is this one. This is from the So Many Shells stamp set. And then we've used the burlap to give just some added texture to that. And I actually wanted to stamp this on and show you how we did that, just to give it just a very light texture kind of in the background. So I've already stamped my stamps from the So Many Shells set, and this is what the actual set looks like. It has a ton of different sayings and all these shells. They're really, really cute and fun to work with. But I already stamped that. I want to just show you just how to get the texture on there using the burlap stamp. So I have my big stamp here. This is what it looks like. This is a wood mount stamp. So it's quite big, quite large. But it can cover an entire card, which is awesome. So I'm going to use Dapper Denim ink, and I am just going to, you can see that my burlap stamp is set onto the table, just like this on its back, and I'm taking the pad in my hand, and I'm just going to put the pad to the stamp instead of the other way around. Because it's so big, you have a lot more control if you do it this way than if you were to try and turn the stamp over and try and get the ink on that way. So that's one tip to use a big background stamp. So now I have all inked up, but on this card I don't want my background stamp to be so strong. It's just very light. You can see again on the card, it's just a very light texture. So I have Dapper Denim, but I'm gonna just take a scrap piece of paper, any regular copy paper, and I'm just gonna get the ink off of the burlap stamp. So I'm going to do it once, twice, 3 times. I'm going to get that ink off. So honestly, you basically have very little ink left on there. So then I'm going to take my piece that I've already stamped with the shells, and I'm going to lay it right on top of my stamp. And again, this is backwards from what you would normally do with a regular stamp, but because it's so big, it's easier to do it this way. Now you can do one of two things. You can take it and you can just kind of drum your fingers on it like this, and it gets a very light texture on there. Or you can take another piece of scrap paper and just lay it over your card, and you can rub it, and that'll give a little bit more texture. Since we took so much ink off anyway, I'm going to rub mine so that it gives a little bit more. Alright, and then you're just going to peel it up, and you can see, just like on the other card, it gives just enough texture to give it a background, and it adds so much to that shell card. And really, you can do this with any background. We have all sorts of background stamps that you can find in the catalog. They're very fun and so many to choose from. I just happened to choose the burlap stamp to showcase here. So I'd love to see what you guys have come up with using background stamps. If you'd like to, we'd love to see then posted down in the comments. Make sure you check the links below if you're interested in making any purchases. And thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next week for another Watch It Weekly Wednesday.